Happy Tuesday, Blues. Welcome to the City Social with Manchester is Blue. On this day in 2018-2019, City picked up another Premier League trophy. Thank you very much. After 38 games, 32 wins, 2 draws, 4 defeats, 95 goals scored, 23 goals conceded, and 98 points, we secured the title with a 4-1 win at the Amex Arena. Do you remember it, lads? Beautiful sunny day in Brighton. I didn't go. I was watching it on telly. Aguero, Laporte, Mahrez, and Ilkay Gundogan wrapped it off for us. So what a good start to the day, lads, to reminisce on that. I'm going to watch that all again today with my son. What a great day that was. Can you remember? Oh, that's phenomenal.
I was supposed to go to that match.
Oh, what happened?
I was gutted. It was stuff at home. I couldn't go, but I used to go to the university across the way from the Amex.
Okay, yeah.
I did my teacher training there, and I've got a load of mates who live and work around Brighton. I know the sports commentator John Howick.
Great.
But yeah, they were going to sort me a ticket out, and then sort of about a week beforehand, I had to cancel. So that's another title winning match I missed out on.
Well, you're not allowed to go to any from now. Them's the rules. Because you've missed a couple. You need to kind of, because next time you go to one, we might lose. So you kind of need to avoid that one, pal.
Well, my father-in-law's already banned me from going to the DW Stadium because every time I've been there, Wigan have failed to win.
Oh.
So he's a Wigan season ticket holder, and he got me a ticket to go watch Sheffield United a couple of seasons ago for the Boxing Day game. That got postponed because of the weather. And then they were playing him. It was boring 0-0 for ages. And then all of a sudden, like in a few minutes, Wigan were 3-0 up. And he looked at the clock and was like, hold on, there's 20 minutes to go yet. So this is going to be 3-3. And if I'd have put a bet on, I'd have been so happy because the match ended 3-3. But he's now banned me from going to the games because I jinxed them. So
bless you.
Did you go to Wembley in 2013? Is that the reason why as well?
7 years
ago.
I think that was 7 years ago yesterday. I went to that. I was devastated.
Are you lads in the same boat as me? We wouldn't have lost that if we had Pantillaman in goal.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. What
one game.
Oh, so frustrating. That was a day Mancini knew he was getting sacked as well, which is rubbish. Which I hope he didn't know beforehand. That would have been dreadful for him. So yeah, I'm not a massive fan of how that ended for obvious reasons. But yeah, that's the worst drive home from Wembley I think I've had.
It's me that thinking that could be a bit of karma on Mancini's part though, because obviously the man who he succeeded, he also turned up to a game knowing he was also getting sacked afterwards.
Fair point, actually. Yeah, it's something very
right, well, if that's how you're gonna arrive at the club, tough shit, mate.
Yeah, there's something very, very ruthless about football, isn't there? The way it works and everything that goes into it. So, yeah, I was hardly surprised by that. But did you see yesterday there's going to be a minimum of June to start the Premier League off again? How do you two feel about
that? It's not going to happen.
I'm not sure how I feel about this at the minute. Behind closed doors and all
that. To be honest, I'm sure, I think it was Dan. Was it Dan? Did you post the thing about the Liverpool Echoes?
No, that was Halifax.
Yeah.
Tom.
Yeah.
I had a good argument with a Liverpool fan yesterday about it. I mean, any time you mention Hillsborough.
Do you know what else I was doing at 1 o'clock in the morning? I was reading your argument. I couldn't say. I saw that you shared it and somebody posted something, and I thought you had a pop at this. Oh, I'm reading this.
Yeah, he was someone I work with, a Liverpool fan, and we have a lot of banter. But it really boiled my piss, that bloody article. I read the whole thing, and there's like 3 brief mentions of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's like any Liverpool fan, you mention Hillsborough, and it's justice for the 96, blah, 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 which, yes, it was a disaster. Yes, it was awful. But, you know, I mean, they boycott the Sun newspaper because of stuff that they wrote about that. And I'm not going to go into my opinion on that because I'm controversial enough without stirring up a hornet's nest. But to be moaning that there's no party for we're supposed to be winning the league, get stuffed. There's 30,000 people dying because of this, and because of the decisions now by the government, I guarantee there's going to be a second wave. There's going to be worse than the first.
Yeah.
So I can't see the Premier League kicking off in June. I can't see it kicking off until next season.
Yeah.
Well, one at Bundesliga 2 that has also been said to go ahead as well as the first division. The whole team's had to self-isolate again.
Yeah, is that Dresden or Dusseldorf or something? Three of their players have got it.
Yeah, and the whole team have had to self-isolate for 2 weeks. So that had even kicked off and they've been given the go-ahead. So I can't. I think it's Brighton as well. Brighton have got 3 first-team players, haven't they, that have come down with the virus.
Yeah.
So it won't happen. If it does, so it'll be a catastrophic error, not just on the FA part, but the whole of sporting. If it was a sport such as F1 where one person's in a car, that's completely different. You know, they're not. Everyone's. I can't remember where it was where I read it, but they were saying they're doing all the steps to make sure that you can play football in the team against an opposition team from another club, absolutely fine, with a 0% chance of the virus being around. How?
FIFA.
I can't remember where. Hey?
FIFA. That's what they've been doing, isn't it? The FIFA tournaments. That's the only way you can play any sort of football.
Yeah.
Oh, playing FIFA. So that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just won't happen. Yeah. It won't happen. They should just play it safe. You know, footballers, as much as they get paid and we have a go at them when they don't play well, they're human beings at the same time. We've been told we've got to go to work. If we don't feel safe about going to work, we won't go to work. Why should it be any different for footballers? As much as I hate Liverpool, give them the title, void it the season, I don't care. Just work away something with promotions on a championship and leagues below and just void the season, because end the season and just give people what they need to do. Don't put risks to other players. Yeah, it's not worth it in the end.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely bonkers, pal. I saw the rumour mill that the City is still going on for, and we're on competition now with PSG for Nelson Semedo. And I've also heard, have you guys heard about Kingsley Coleman? Pep's interested in and doing a swap for Star. What do you think about that? I wouldn't mind that.
All right. Well, he's the star that I think will be the perfect replacement for Sane, because I think we're all pretty sure that Sane is gone now. And Kingsley Coman has probably gone under the radar more than any other top European club in terms of attacker. He's gone under the radar quite massively. And for the performances he puts in, the shift work he does, the running, the pace, you know, the things he gets involved in, it's a dead cert that we should be going in for someone like him, because he looks to be the perfect replacement for Sane.
Yeah, he looks. His stats look promising as well. So I can't really. He's had a bit of a transfer history though, hasn't he? He's been around quite a bit.
I think Bayern's his longest club he's been at.
Is it? So was it PSG, Juventus, Bayern? Is that the clubs he's had in 23?
Yeah. I think it was.
Yeah, he was a kid at Paris though, wasn't he? I can't really count that.
Yeah,
doesn't really count, I suppose. And obviously in the national team as well. So yeah, you can't really argue with his choice there. Whether we get him or not, it's easier said than done, isn't it?
Well, it'll cost an arm and a leg, but you never know. We should be getting quite a lot of money for Sane and quite rights, but depending on the way we play it in the contract negotiation, we should have enough money to afford Coman.
Yeah, he's got 3 years left on his contract as well. And you two will be pleased to know that one of his relatives is his agent. Here we go again.
I did see an article the other day, though, that it was suggested that there was about a list of 5 Bayern players that could all be part of a Partex deal for Sane. I know Alaba was mentioned in there, but I can't see that happening because he's quite a key player. But Coman was like the second one on the list because he hasn't really played that many games apparently this season for Bayern. And then there was 3 others, but there were, is it Goetzke or something? And Goretzka. And then there was 2 other. There was one lad, he hasn't even made an appearance for Bayern yet, a striker.
I can't ever imagine us getting 5 players from one club. We just don't need them. I can't envisage that.
I think it was just a list of 5 possible options. I don't think it was all 5. Okay. It was just here's the potentials that it could do. I think Coleman could actually be like he's similar to Sean Wright Phillips in a way.
Yeah.
From what I've seen of him.
That could be interesting.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'd be interested. To be honest with you, I've not seen enough of him. I've only seen his stats and what I've heard on podcasts. So it'd be interesting to see what he's actually like. And I'll find a video on YouTube and I'll stick it on there. I'll stick it on the page and let everyone else have a good judge about what they think of him. Because there's bound to be some video somewhere with him showboating, isn't there?
Yeah.
So absolutely understatement. But yeah, 96 he was born. So yeah, he's 23 years old. So yeah, he's got plenty of time left in him, isn't he? It would worry me a little bit that he's of that age of 23 and he's not getting that much time at Munich. It would make me, I don't know, I'm quite sceptical about that. If he was sort of late teens, early 20s. I suppose 23, still got plenty of time. How old's Sane? 26?
20,
I don't think he's that old.
23, 24, I think the same age, roughly.
Found myself a video. I'll post this on the site now. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Have you heard about any other transfer rumours since your slam dunk the other day, which is a cracking podcast? I listened to it on a run yesterday. That's the gossip podcast for anybody listening.
Just coming for me.
Yeah, that's the only ones I've really seen mentioned. A lot of them seems to be the same kind of crap that's just been spouted out by every media outlet. It's like it's not a who we're linked with, it's a who should we sign, because the reporters are getting really bored now. There's literally nothing to do, and when you give an idiot time to think, it's quite dangerous. So.
Oh, I love it.
Just guys, with the Sane saga,
go on then.
Would either of you consider taking Sancho back if the deal was right?
Yeah, 100%. I would. Yeah, I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. I don't particularly. I know he left because he wanted to play more games, didn't he? I don't think was it under more of a cloud than that. I don't think it was it?
I'll say I wasn't sure. I was a bit skeptical whether the terms he left on were almost like Sturridge, that kind of bad terms. Because I know he left because he said he wanted more games and he wanted better himself, but there was no way he was ever going to return to City because of the way I think it was all handled, and I wasn't sure if Sancho had kind of gone down that route either. No, especially with him being linked to United.
I don't think so. I think from memory, it was just purely that he wanted to play more games. I don't think it was ever. He potentially wanted more money, but who wouldn't at that age of City throwing money? Oh, yeah. Why would you not want more money? So I don't have any particular negativity towards Sancho. And from memory, I don't think the club do either. But you never know what happens behind circles, do you? Anything could have happened. Pogba's left United under a bit of a cloud, but he seems to have come back all right to United.
The only thing that would worry me about it is the fact that he in a way held us a little bit to ransom. We obviously knew what it was like in the EDS team and what have you, and he did in fact hold us to ransom in a sense. I want game time or I'm gone, and I hope that he isn't taking that trait into his more senior career type thing, because we're not a club that stands for that anymore, are we? Really, we've got a player like that. I mean, like a couple of podcasts ago, I mentioned the Tevez saga. There's been never anything since that, really, has there? No players really said, I want a player, or I'm going out, or I'm going to throw a sulk. There's no real player that's done that since. And I don't think we're a club that stands for it. I wouldn't mind him. He is going to be probably a Ballon d'Or candidate within the next couple of years, without a doubt. I'm still a bit 50-50 on the fence with him, to be fair.
Yeah, we'll see. I just can't see it happening, Sancho. I don't know why. I just don't see it as being an option for us. I think it's going to cost too much.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking to them a couple of other podcasts ago, weren't we, about how much City are willing to pay and how much we'd potentially get players for. I don't know, honestly. Yes, Chris, to answer the question, yeah, I would have him back. I don't see any problem with that whatsoever. No qualms whatsoever. Do you two have anything else to discuss, to talk about on the social?
All I know is it's about 100 podcasts since we last mentioned VAR, which is a good thing.
Oh, the end of VAR. It's going to come back. It's going to come back to haunt us, lads. It'll be back before we know it, don't worry. Do you miss it? Do you miss VAR?
I miss football. I miss football. As much as we go on about we don't want it to start up, I miss it.
Cut and thrust, pal. I know what you mean. I miss watching Match of the Day with my lad.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that. It's hard, isn't it? But it's we'll get there. We'll get through it, and we'll start up sooner rather than later. But it has to be safe. I think we all agree with that. It has to be right.
Yeah.
But yeah, right, lads. Well, I'm going to love you and leave you. Have a fantastic.
Just before you do go.
Oh, go on then.
So,
Twice now.
One last question. I asked this. I asked this a while back on is it Talking Balls that Radio Manchester do, and I've always had the thought of it. You know, how usually in pre-season, City now we go on one of these random tours that's basically just let's see how many shirts we can sell.
Yeah.
And we take like half a team of kids with a couple of star players, and it's crap because you're playing Barcelona, AC Milan, and Juventus, but they're all like tiddly teams that were, it's nonsense.
The money makers.
Yeah, it's a business trip if anything. I mentioned, what about the idea of doing a mixed tournament but over here? So you'd have teams from like City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Arsenal, for instance, teams that have got a good men's first team and quite a good women's team. You basically pick a squad of 18 players, 9 men, 9 women, and you have a mixed game. So you can have like 6 of one gender and 5 of the other on the pitch at the same time. Because a lot of women say that they want equal pay and they want the the fans and all that stuff. And I've seen a bit of women's football. Some of them they are good. Could it work? I mean, obviously mixed doubles in tennis that works.
I'm gonna have to be very brutal here, Chris, and I don't want to sound as brutal as I can. It'll never happen. The whole thing with pre-season tours is it's about team bonding, but also getting back to match fitness. And you wouldn't have, if City and United went on tour together, the men would they play together? It's for the same reason why they wouldn't play together, because it's to get the team back up and running. It's to get the team understanding how each other play. It's to get them all bonding and working together and scoring together and defending together. And if we did that with the mixed doubles, absolute no disrespect to the women, but they are leagues below our men. And I would rather our men play with equal quality to be ready for the season proper than doing... if they did it as an exhibition, as a sideline, as an exhibition match, yeah, fantastic, that'd be great. And I'd watch it. I think it'd be quite interesting to watch. I'd love us to. I think we could do something, but if it's a proper pre-season tournament to get us up and running, up to scratch, then no, not me.
Yeah, it wouldn't work, would it?
No, not for me. I'd like the idea though, Chris. I think that could work, but I'm thinking like, do you know when City opened the stadium up, like the game, like the season, City open the stadium up before the season starts, don't they? And like having people walk around the stadium. Then that would be perfect. Families go in, festival atmosphere, men against, get 2 City teams, one with men, one with women, one with men, one with women, both, and they'll play each other. I think that'd be a great idea. Get a little festival of football. In fact, I'm going to suggest that to City. I'd
love to see Steph Houghton give Nico a run for his money at centre back, right? But she could probably do it. To be fair, she's probably one of the best players I've seen in the women's team for a long time.
I love that.
I wouldn't mind man marking her, would you?
That's enough of that. It's too early for that.
It's my bedtime, to be fair. So.
It's not even 9 o'clock yet. You can't start talking like that.
Explicit content warning coming out.
Watching. Right, on that note, Chris.
Before we go, lads, all the best blues.
See you later, boys. Have a great day.
See you later,
Take
lads.
care, fellas.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.